Meet Kevin recently came out with a video talking about his new startup, finally announcing it. He left YouTube for a couple weeks. Now he's back explaining what his startup is. And I am excited to explain and give my thoughts, not just on the startup, but really on the process of what he's actually trying to do. So first of all, let's go to the tweet. This is what he tweeted today after being gone from a while from social media, where he says, I'm launching a startup to compete with the likes of Opendoor, Redfin, Roofstock, and A16Z's Flow. A16Z, Andreessen Horowitz, is a venture capital firm, one of the biggest in Silicon Valley. They just gave Adam Newman, the ex-co-founder of WeWork, $350 million. $350 million to build Flow, which is like this communal living type of product. It's really weird. There's not even a product yet. The company's already valued at $1 billion. And the whole idea is Adam Newman is going to buy up a bunch of properties and do this stuff. A16Z, a venture capital firm, said, hey, we're going to give you $350 million. Go chase your dreams. Go do it. And then he says, I'm going all in. Wish me luck. This is incredibly interesting to me. Why is this interesting to me? Well, it's not even about the company or the idea or the startup. I am going to do a podcast with Sean from Invest to Live. He's a friend of the channel. He's really well experienced in the real estate space, and he's going to be breaking down a lot more in depth what he sees as the potential, the idea, the concept for what Kevin is doing. From what I understand, my naive understanding, he's going to find properties that are wedge deals that are worth that he can buy for 400 and then sell for 500, and boom, you make 100. And so at a baseline level, they're using some type of software to be able to determine real estate leads that are underpriced opportunities for them to buy and then flip. That's cool. Seems dope. Seems like it could be a big opportunity. Seems like there's elements there. There's probably a lot of risks and all this stuff. There's a lot of stuff to it. What I want to talk about is the actual tweet he said. And the tweet was, I'm going against Opendoor, Redfin, Zillow, and the newest company that just raised $350 million in the real estate space. I am going to take that risk. Now, I am not a Meet Kevin channel. I'm not a guy who talks about Meet Kevin every single day and uses his face just to get people to watch me. I am someone who's actually a fan of Meet Kevin because the way he has captivated attention, the work ethic and is unparalleled to any other creator, and how he has figured out the financial space on YouTube is unbelievable to me. It's actually incredibly inspiring to me as an aspiring content creator. What I want to talk about is what it means to say I am going against Opendoor, which is a publicly traded company. I am going against Redfin, which is a publicly traded. The idea that you could stand up and say, hey, big companies, multi-billion-dollar establishments with thousands of engineers and data analysts and capital and all this stuff, I'm going to take you on as a YouTuber with a dream. The reason I wanted to make this video is because that is an idea, that is a concept that needs to be encouraged and it cannot be discouraged. That is a concept that is uniquely American in particular, this idea that you can just be nothing and go into something just if you try, if you work hard enough, and that the free market that exists allows the opportunity to actually compete, to actually have a chance to go against some of the biggest companies in the world. This is something we cannot let die, this idea. I had Code Strap on the podcast recently with a weekly Palantir podcast. I am 24 years old. I recently started a startup as well. I'm competing against the likes of Spotify and Deezer and Amazon Podcasts and Apple Music and YouTube. And I'm competing against some of the biggest technology companies in the world. And it sounds kind of crazy. It's like, who's this 24-year-old guy? Why does he think just because he has a YouTube channel, he can compete against some of the biggest audio technology companies in the world? The name of my startup is called Audia, more in the description. It's all about competing. It's all about really allowing enhanced discovery of audio content on the internet. The reason I think I can do it is because I see a gap in the market. I feel I have the capacity as a founder to get the word out and to build enough hype and buzz to ultimately generate network effects on the platform, which makes the platform incredibly valuable. And I am someone that just wants to go for it, and I see myself as the guy that can take it to the promised land. Will I do it? I don't know. Will I fail? I don't know. Will I succeed? I don't know. There's a lot of unknown variables when you're trying to go build something, when you're trying to get your idea out into the world. But before you even try, you've got to feel you can do it. You've got to actually feel, okay, there's a calculated risk hypothesis here. There's a gap in the market. I see the understandings here. I see this and that. I think if I put my all in to this idea, I have a chance to compete. That's an idea that needs to be celebrated. Tesla was not started by old car manufacturers. Apple was not started by old technology companies or old hardware manufacturing companies. It was people that simply felt there was a better way to do something else, and they had the freedom from the free market and the country that they lived in, which is incredibly important because not everywhere around the world you have the freedom to actually go try and go do and go pursue and persevere and not have the government just destroy all the stuff that you've been able to build. And they did it. And they said, we're going to change things and we're going to do it. And we will get private investments. We will get capital from people who feel and support our vision and our belief. And they know how risky it can be to bet on something that is relatively unproven and go try to do what we need to do, because that capital subsidizes the ability for people to go chase their dreams. I ended up raising $300,000 for my startup. People who are fans of the channel will know that journey. I documented that entire journey on the channel. But I did it because I built out a communication cycle that allowed potential investors to understand what the market opportunity was, and people then invested. And people saw the chance, and then they did it. And it still blows my mind to this day that random people across the world would give me $5, $10, $25,000, or even $500, $300, $400, because they just felt they wanted to be a part of this movement and this potential product idea that was going to end up going into existence. Not going to end up being successful, not going to end up being a failure. We don't know about that, but was going to end up being something in existence. Meet Kevin, and what he's doing right now to me is the exact same thing. I don't know that much about the idea. I'm learning a lot more about it, and I wish him all the best of luck. But I applaud, and I think anyone who came across this video should absolutely applaud someone's willingness to go for it. Because you don't get Opendoor until you get someone who feels like they can make Opendoor. You don't get a Spotify until you get someone who says music streaming sucks, it's all illegal, let's actually figure out how to make it really awesome and cool and build Spotify. You have to have that individual that simply feels there is an opportunity, there is a chance, and if they get a little bit of capital, they can take that and go to the next level. You have to have that individual. And those individuals cannot feel as if they don't have the opportunity or the freedom to go do it. They have to feel like they can do it. And if they feel like they can do it and they have a bit of ambition and they get the resources they need, they might actually go up and build something big. I don't know if Meet Kevin's going to build another billion-dollar company. He's talking about IPOing. He's talking about taking a company public. That is one of the most prestigious things you can do as an entrepreneur, because you built something from nothing and now you brought it to the public markets where anyone can buy shares in that company around the world. I mean, that is incredibly difficult. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's a beautiful thing to actually be able to take this little thing and put it into the public markets. It's an ambitious idea and concept to even feel you have the ability to go for it, and it rubs people off the wrong way when you say, hey, I'm going to go for it. But you still have to go for it. You still have to try. And I simply applaud the people that are trying. I'm someone in that position that is trying. I empathize and I sympathize with how hard it is to do something that the rest of the world basically says you don't have the ability to do, or you shouldn't be able to do, but still going forward anyway. So I applaud Meet Kevin. I would love to know everyone's thoughts in the comments about what they think about the idea and what they think about him trying to go for it. I know a lot of people will be like, oh, he's trying to go to Opendoor. That'll never happen. Never say never. Really never say never. No one thought Netflix would beat Blockbuster. Like there are lots of different scenarios and variables and external circumstances. And then at the end of the day, you're betting on that founder, that MFer that put 4,000 videos on a platform and figured out how to get 2 million people to care about him. You're betting on that person to see if they can figure it out. And if they can, then a lot of things can go really interesting from there if they figure it out. And so that would be my one last piece to people who are watching this. Is like, never say never on someone who has nothing to lose and who's really going for it. And if they're actually all in, if they're genuinely, authentically, this is their dream, this is what they're trying to do, then they have a shot. And I think we absolutely need to encourage that and not discourage that. Whether they fail or lose, it is okay to fail in the United States of America. We encourage that because we're like, hey, at least you're trying. And the only reason we have the biggest technology companies in the world in this country is because people try. And that feeling is going all around the world. India is having more startups. Like all across the world, people are feeling like they have the freedom to try. And that freedom of human ingenuity and motivation to just go for it is, to me, the defining variable of a meaningful and purposeful life, is taking that risk in the face of all the uncertainty that comes with that risk. So I applaud Meet Kevin, and I wish him the best of luck.